What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about my final thoughts on Cyberpunk 2077 before it releases. So I like to do this. It's kind of like a preview event. Sometimes I'll do like review score predictions. I know not everybody's a fan of those, but I am. But for this, I kind of want to just talk about my last-minute excitement for this game because it's coming close. Now, I don't know exactly what day this is. This is either probably going to go up Sunday or Monday, whichever day you guys are seeing this. I'm pumped. I mean, this Thursday, it's game time. Now, at the time I'm recording this, there's no like reviews. I don't know if maybe they'll publish on like the Friday before. I would imagine they would be published early. I think this is a game that they probably have confidence to get those review scores out there before the game comes out. Yet again, the game is so long. We already know that people in the media have this game, have had it actually for quite a while. Maybe they have to play like so many hours of this game before they can do a review. So a lot of people are waiting, or they're CD Projekt Red is waiting. However they're doing it. Hopefully the review scores are high. It's pretty much what I'm saying. Because if the review scores are like 70s or low 80s, and I'm talking about this afterwards, it's going to be a little weird. But no, I mean I'm really pumped. My thing with hype for games, as I've said, if you've caught me on live streams before. And people have asked me, like, what's your most anticipated game? It tends to go just the games that are, like, closest to releasing, which I know is kind of anticlimactic. I mean, there are games, like, long-term that I'm very excited for. But in general, I tend to get really pumped for games that are coming out the soonest. So, like, Cyberpunk. And then once Cyberpunk is done, like, Hitman 3 becomes a really, pumped-up game for me because that's, like, the next game out. So that's kind of how it works. So you can imagine, based off of that, scale, I'm at an all-time high. Because it's only a couple days away for Cyberpunk. I'm really, I was talking to my friend, my old-time friend on this. We've been friends for forever, basically. And, I asked him, like, are you getting Cyberpunk? And we were talking about basically what we're expecting from this game. And it's like, it's kind of hard to put into words. It is difficult. And let me say this. I'm not, like, drooling over this game. I'm not, like, bowing at this game's feet because I know it's maybe an unpopular, I'm not doing it because of this, but I know in general it's maybe an unpopular opinion to literally, again, like, worship these kind of games. Some people will say, the game's overrated, stuff like that. I mean, I'm not, like, thinking this is going to be the game of my lifetime or that this is going to be my favorite game ever created by man. You know what I mean? But I'm expecting just an overall as solid of a product as you can possibly get. And I honestly think the way I've thought about this game is, to me, like, just the way because I'm not going to, you guys obviously can think about it however you want. I know there's so many people on both these channels that are very excited for this game. I know there's some people that aren't. And either way, it's totally cool. I was going into Crash Bandicoot 4. I was going into Miles Morales. Those are two recent games that I went in thinking like this, where it's like, I don't really have any high expectation. I just want the game to be good. You know what I mean? I want to have fun. I want it to, obviously every game has its own, like for Crash 4, I was like, I just want it to be a really good Crash game, pay respects to the past, and do your own thing. And I was blown away by the quality of Crash 4. Miles, I don't think Miles was the greatest game of all time, but, like, I was like, I don't really want anything, like, I don't need anything, too crazy. Just make a really, like, put me back in that world, because that world was so good the first time. And I think thinking like that, going into it, it was, like, really, it didn't blow me away, I think, the same way Crash did. Maybe it's just Crash. Crash is very important to me in terms of even, like, my childhood. It was kind of my childhood game. Cyberpunk, I'm going in kind of the same thing, where it's like, to be honest with you guys, I don't even know all that much about it. I mean, I've watched some of the Night City, the live streams that they've done. I've watched some of them, but I haven't, how many are there? Like 5 or 6? I think I've only watched 2. Now, I use them as footage for videos, but I don't, I haven't sat down and, like, listened to the whole thing and watched the whole thing. I haven't done it for most of them, the majority of them, right? I try not to read too many articles about this stuff. I'm going in kind of like, I know what game I know what game we're gonna get generally, right? But I'm not really expecting all of them. So, like, final thoughts before the game comes out, kind of like my mind is very at ease. It's very calm. Although I talk really fast, I talk really loud, I am pretty calm about this game. You know what I mean? I'm just, and like I said with, like, my friend when we were messaging, I was talking about, and I've said this before, I'm just expecting a good open world. Like, I want them to show me that they can still do it just as good as The Witcher, but even better. And if anything, again, as I've said in the past in these videos, if I'm expecting them to set the bar in any regard, it's not the shooting aspects. It's maybe not even, like, the dialogue and the characters, although that is part of it. I would say that's actually part of it. But I want the world to feel alive, and that's something that you guys have probably heard me say quite often. I want them to prove that they can still make the best like a feel alive world. And I know that's not necessarily the greatest term, but you know what I mean? That's what I want. When I'm not in a sector of this map, I want it to still feel like it's moving. And when I go back to it, I want it to still feel like it. If I do something in a mission, I want that reflected when I'm just going down the streets. You know what I mean? And I think it does have to do with the characters and dialogue too, because you have to make it feel like they've always been there and they are there and things are you know what I mean? And they've had a life and they're going to have a life. That's important. So I would say the characters and the development and the dialogue in general, all that stuff, I think that is pretty darn important to creating an open world. So, I mean, I am expecting a lot in that regard, but I mean, from like the gameplay perspective, I don't know too much of what to expect. I mean, obviously I know what kind of game it is, but I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not going in with that many things. And another thing we talked about, you know, through text was, again, this is kind of hard to put into words, of how long this game has been being made. And I think that's where a lot of the high expectations come from. I think that's maybe where you get the people that some people get mad that they're like too much in love with this game or expecting too much. And again, it's up to each individual. I know that if it was like an Uncharted game, I mean, I would be as close to bowing as possible. You know what I mean? So I have to keep things in hindsight, where it's like, although, you know, I've known about this game, right, since everybody else, when they first did that very first teaser trailer, right, which was so long, and they've said, like, they've been working on this game for, what, 7 years, so it's been such a long time, and for the people that have known about this game or followed it since the beginning, I mean, that is such a long time to have a journey like this with a game that's not even out yet. It's a long time. You can compare it to me with like Gotham Knights or Hogwarts Legacy or any Uncharted game or stuff like that. I mean, it means something different to every person. Now, I've been with it since the beginning, but I haven't been like this level of excitement until this year, and then as this year, I would say, has gone on, okay? So, and again, like, that's hard to kind of put into words, where it's like, we're finally at the end of this long journey that I think means so much to so many people. And I think that's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, although I may not even be one of those people, I think it's really, really cool that we can finally say, like, a game like this is out. It's actually out. CD Projekt Red is back. They haven't been out since The Witcher 3. You know what I mean? And we're finally there, where we get to experience this game. Whether it's good or not, we get to experience it and see what they have. And I think that's very powerful. So even in that regard, I would say that does make me excited. You know what I mean? It's a studio that is so accomplished. It is so good. I would say they are the kings of open world games, at least open world games. And then you can maybe add on more, you know, elements that they're good at after that. But to see them back, and to see them back in such a different way, obviously Cyberpunk is very different than The Witcher 3. You know, I'm excited for that. So Thursday is going to be awesome. Game Awards that night. I mean, dear Jesus, you know, from a channel perspective and from like a work perspective, it's going to kind of be rough, because I don't really have a plan for, I kind of do, you know what I mean? But to fit Game Awards coverage, to fit Cyberpunk coverage, that's an aside. That's a personal life story from me. But no, I'm honestly very, very excited for Thursday. Thursday's going to be a big day for both, honestly, because of both of them, Game Awards and Cyberpunk, in the gaming industry. That'll probably last for like a week, and then we can all take a deep, you know, we can all exhale and take the Christmas break off, and then jump right back in for, you know, Hitman and you know, future games that come out in January and February. So let me know, guys, in the comments below. What do you think? You excited for this game? Where's your expectation at? Or where's your hype level at? Just a few days away from it. Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up, and I do a brand new video on this channel every single day. There will be Cyberpunk coverage. There will be Game Awards coverage, probably on both, on this channel as well as my main channel. Most of it will be on my main channel, but I do want to talk about it a little bit here as well. So make sure, obviously, you guys are supporting both, and I will see you all on tomorrow's video.